After a long day mining salt, struggling against the gods of net taken in diamond, I find a good gauntlet run to be most therapeutic, and especially this one, which seemed to take away days worth of frustration. So I thought I'd have to share, and I hope you'll enjoy it. But probably not as much as I did, because I had the time of my life yesterday. I was laughing my ass off constantly. And now that I think about it, I hope my opponent didn't get too salty after this. But I think if I were in their position, I'd just respect the absurdness. This is gonna be video number 1 in a playlist showcasing this run. I have to do a playlist because for now I'm restricted to 10-minute videos. Hopefully I'll be able to fit 2 games in each video, so it's gonna be about 6 videos in total. For that reason I also decided to skip the first game. This is actually game number 2 in the run. And also because the first game was really not exciting, it was very short, and that was of course because my opponent was Carlos. Songhai and Carlos especially is such a sad case in Gauntlet, according to my experience. Usually when you see your opponent is playing Songhai, you already envision the free win. Unless of course it's at wins number 7, 8 and above. That's when you get scared as shit, because you know that for them to have made it this far, their deck must be absolutely crazy. You see Goslings, the mascot of the deck. I know, how do I dare replace it? It's not gonna make an appearance on the stage just yet. But don't worry about it, it's coming. Here you can see that my spirits had already been lifted at that point, because I decided to use an emote that was not BM Phalanx for the first time in the day probably. So Junior, very weak play, but I do decide to ignore it and just go face, which is kinda gonna bite me in the ass. It's not that I care about him drawing cards, of course. He already had 5 cards in hand and I felt pretty confident at this point. But he does buff it. Twice. He gives it Frenzy. And actually notice here that he does draw 2 cards out of this, just like other cards like Pergatus and Sunseer. It would have been the same if he attacked, if he went up to attack all 3 of them, because Sunseer Defender doesn't take damage thanks to the force field, so his play was not bad. Here I have already spotted Pado, Big Daddy Pado in my hand, and I had a feeling he was gonna provide the lethal this game. And I also did forget to use my Bloodborne spell before hitting. Keep in mind that this had been indeed been a long day, and I started this run at 2 in the morning, so there are a couple of misplays in some of the games. So yes, here he does actually prevent lethal, I believe. But as I predicted, the Pado drop is gonna take care of it. Pretty safe bet in my opinion. The only way for him to survive would have been to spawn, for his general to spawn somewhere around here, this couple of tiles, because my minions and general will spread out enough to reach everywhere. So yeah, that was game number 2 in the run, and let's move on to the next. Here you can see the results. Unfortunately, there was indeed 1 loss against Kara. What else could it have been? I really don't want to talk about Kara, but honestly, I don't feel I don't get too mad when I see Kara in Gauntlet, mostly because I also like to experiment with her myself. It's fun to use her Bloodborne spell on minions that you otherwise never would. Twin Fang, the second legendary in my deck that has made an appearance so far. I think, did you see Vindicator? I think Vindicator was my hand. The previous game. Yeah, 3 legendaries in total. Young Veil Hunter never survives. I did replace him too, cause playing him and then waiting another turn to play Scorn and buffing, as was my original plan, would have been too slow indeed. And I can just use amplification and blistering Scorn itself. Bye bye Ghostling, see you later. This turn actually did take me a long time to decide what to do. And I think there were a number of different ways to approach it, because I didn't like that my Dancing Blades could take 3 free damage from the spines. But here he does decide to build a wall instead of attacking my Dancing Blades. And I do have the answer in my hand. And check this out. That's gonna be a massive Twin Fang. For lethal. And Ghostlings, place your bet guys. Is Ghostlings gonna provide lethal? Am I gonna get lethal with Ghostlings? 1 minion. Ghostlings can easily take care of that. But 2 minions. Can possibly reach with my general. Unless I play the numbers. Actually, yeah, I managed to Ghostlings my own Dancing Blades in range of his general and buffed with that amplification that has been in my hand. And that's a taste of what's to come, guys. Many more exciting games. Hope you'll check them out, check the next videos, and I'll see you later.